that in the last question with that sort of story about your client there. Anything else you'd like to share about with the people about kind of what they're going to walk away with and how they have new choices?
Well, I wrote a book with Robert Dilts called The Hero's Journey, which is based on Joseph Campbell's work. And the short version of The Hero's Journey is this 3-part sequence. The first is, I was in the Garden of Innocence. I was free. I was, like a young child, but incomplete from a human point of view. Mm-hmm. And then at the second level, I had to go up into my cognitive mind, and I had to go out into the desert. I had to disconnect from myself, mm-hmm. From formal education, from sense of you shouldn't do that or you have to be like this. And I've been living totally outside of me. What I want people to walk away with is this experience of how to help themselves and other people get into this third level state of what we call generative, where you have that total innocence, that creativity, that creative capacity of your primary consciousness, and you have all the maturity, the social know-how of your second intelligence. You put those together and you realize every day, you're like what Milton Erickson was like to me. It's like every day I look forward to discovering what I can learn. And Erickson's favorite phrase was, "I don't know." Mm-hmm. I always thought he was fine. I was a young kid. He was the master. He was God. And people would say, "Well, Dr. Erickson, how do you do this or how do you do that?" And his famous phrase was, "I don't know." And he would pause, and he would add, "But I'm very curious to discover." So we want a person to be able to live from that state of wonderment, of discovery, of this sense of I get up each day and I look forward to just what is possible. I have the energy in my body. I have the trust and the confidence in terms of whatever I feel, whatever I experience, I can positively use as a resource. And so I'm free, man. I'm free to just live my life, without being afraid or without being disconnected. That's what I want people to walk away with.
Wonderful, Steve. I think that's a beautiful description there in terms of the curiosity for people to discover what they need to discover about themselves and their emotional experience from a creative perspective. So I think it's a really, really beautiful way to describe it.
If you model the great geniuses, that is a common base for all of them.
Wow.
This curiosity. One of my professors at Santa Cruz, besides John Grinder, was this guy, Frank Barron, who was one of the leading researchers on creativity. And he said when studying all these creative geniuses, the first characteristic was the pleasure in sitting in a not knowing state.
Yeah.
And that's where the new stuff comes from.
Well,
so if you're integrated, if you're comfortable, if you're connected with every one of the multiple languages of the body, you're in good shape.
Good man, Steve. I think that's a really, really nice way to put it. So say thank you very much now for joining us here. We're in Croydon, you're in China.
Croydon, what's that?
Croydon, the center of the known universe.
Oh, yeah, I heard.
Now we're going to change it to the center of your emotional universe, or the emotional experiences within the universe. So thanks, Steve, for taking the time. Just going to say to the viewers again to this seminar, we're on the 27th to 30th April 2019, so it's nice and close. We saw some places if you'd like to log onto our website, www.nlpacademy.co.uk. We're really looking forward to welcome you here, Steve, for your annual pilgrimage to Croydon.
Yeah, it's Mike, I just want to say to anybody that's listening, it's always one of the high points of my year. Not only to see you, but there's a nice community that you have created around your institute. There's a nice group that are sort of regulars. So I always look forward to this time of the year. So I hope to see
us too, Steve. Me and you, we have our annual 5 days together, sharing our lives every evening, and a great time with the participants. So, Steve, it's a pleasure to have you as a friend to me personally, and a friend to the company. We always love working with you as well. So we're getting excited here. You met our new team here earlier. So we were looking forward to welcoming you here, as well as to anyone else who's looking at this video. Because I would say with Steve, he's been doing NLP for nearly as long as NLP's been created. And also his own...
Before NLP.
And then his own stuff, which he's been developing through the years. And, with Steve, he works in a lot of different places. So I always say to you, give us something, the next new thing you were working on. So I think, this was pretty new last year. Have you done this anywhere else yet?
A few variations.
Yeah.
A few variations.
Right.
But I'm really looking forward to it.
Me
because
too.
I've been working for many years about integrating these two minds, and I think there's a lot of new data and new exercises about how to move that generative relationship to a next level.
Great stuff, Steve. Well, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening over there. We will see you in a couple of weeks, Steve. Again, just for the viewers, that's www.nlpacademy.co.uk, or check out Steve's website for his workshops in other parts of the world. Steve does extensive traveling, and that's stephengilligan.com, right, Steve?
That's right.
Yes, so check out Stephen's website, stephengilligan.com. Find out where else Steve is in the world. And if you're in London or nearby to the UK, many people do come here from Europe. We're situated just outside London, 20 minutes from London. So it's a nice place to stay, local community. It's a bit cheaper than sort of central London. So we'll say goodbye to the viewers. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning into this. And thank you once again, Steve. I'll be seeing you very soon. Cheers,
Michael.
Bye-bye.